quarterback battle with Trevor Lawrence. Nobody saw that coming. Nick, did you say nope, or was that Broussard? Broussard, you can't throw me under the bus.
No.
It's day one.
No, that was me.
No, it was me.
Of course.
Definitely me.
Never that.
Yeah.
Never that, Jenna.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How
What
should
do I- all right, so
current
what do I
Eagles
make of
starter
this?
Jalen Hurts feel? Yeah.
Yeah, not great. Jalen Hurts shouldn't feel great. I am baffled by every aspect of this. I'm baffled that Jacksonville only got a 6th rounder that can turn into a 5th rounder for Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew has 37 touchdowns, 11 picks in this league. There are teams that he would be I think he might be better than the Broncos starting quarterbacks this year, and Teddy Bridgewater and then Drew Lock eventually. He certainly could be the backup for Carson Wentz in Indy, where better than what they have, the backup in Dallas. Philly, on the other hand, has Joe Flacco, who, if he's your starter, you are terribly depressed. But if he's your backup, he's fine. They had Nick Mullins, who they released once they traded for Gardner, who's more than adequate as a 3rd stringer. But why do I not like it for Philly? Because you got rid of Carson Wentz, coach, because you wanted to give the job to Jalen. Jalen threw 7 preseason passes. Game 2, he got sick, so he couldn't play. Game 3, they didn't play him. And now you are creating an impromptu quarterback competition. I know you want competition every spot, but if you were so eager to get rid of Carson and eat all that dead money, it was in part because the guy you drafted in the 2nd round last year, you're like, nope, he's our guy. So why are you going to create uncertainty at that position with that player? I don't understand it from either team's perspective, Coach.
Chris, it's been amazing since you've been away or not here full time. Is Nick has really grown and matured, and his takes have been they've been impressive. He's in a lot of ways, not completely. I do agree. I think that you probably should have held out for a little bit more value for Gardner Minshew, and there are other teams that could have used him. And what he's done has been very impressive. Now, I get why Philadelphia would go get him. It's not like Jalen Hurts has lit it up. It's not like he lit it up last year. Gardner Minshew's better than him statistically in every category. And I know we have a very small Jalen Hurts package or amount of data to work off of. But to go get a young quarterback that's cheap, that you can look at for essentially nothing, it's good business. Worst case scenario, you turn around and trade him away at some point for higher value than you traded to get him. So I understand it from Philadelphia's perspective. I don't understand it from some of the other teams that passed on him.
Yeah, I don't know what Jacksonville was doing. I mean, Gardner Minshew's numbers are very good. 37 touchdowns, 11 picks in his starts with Jacksonville. You could even go closer to great, considering he played on a horrible team. And I'm not saying he's a great quarterback or will be, but for them only to get a 5th or 6th round pick is horrible for them. However, if I'm Philadelphia, look, there's scuttlebutt out there, guys, that maybe they're going to try to make a move for Deshaun Watson. And if Watson's legal problems are worse than they think, and he's not able to play for them, then Gardner Minshew could be some insurance because Jalen Hurts would go to Houston in the trade. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's one theory floating around out there. Secondly, even if they don't trade Minshew, like Coach said, Hurts hasn't earned the position yet. He completed 52% of his passes last year. He was 1-3. He's got to get better. If he can't beat out Gardner Minshew, then he wasn't your guy anyway. It wasn't because he couldn't handle it mentally like Carson Wentz. He can handle it mentally. All right, we saw that at Alabama when he came out shining after Tua took his job. All right, but if he beats out Gardner Minshew, looks at this as motivation, it rises to the occasion because of the competition, then now you know you have a franchise quarterback. So I think it's fine for Philadelphia, whatever they end up doing. But Jacksonville, definitely, this was ridiculous for them.
Yeah, I'm still confused about why Jacksonville wouldn't try to have as many good quarterback minds in that room as possible. Coach, I've read that this might be sort of a COVID insurance policy too, so that teams will overload on their backup quarterbacks so they don't end up in a situation like the Broncos did, where Philadelphia would have to bring in, a guy working at FedEx to be the QB of the team. Do you think more teams will try to hold on to more quarterbacks than usual and try to separate people so a whole quarterback room doesn't go down?
Well, that can be a component of it, but I think it's more trying to get good quarterbacks in the room, period. And especially when you have a quarterback that's unproven, and you can go get a guy that, he's still unproven too, but he's shown in the NFL so many good things. And worst case scenario, you've got a great guy to work with, and hopefully he emerges in some way. And worst case scenario, you trade him and get high value.
But so here's the thing, to Wild's question, they released a quarterback once they traded him. So they're still at 3 quarterbacks. It's not like they're now keeping 4 because Nick Mullins is now gone. And I know Mullins was terrible this preseason, but he had some good moments and more than moments in San Francisco. If he's your 3rd string quarterback, you're in good shape, in my opinion. But think about what Broussard said. Like, if Jalen can beat out Gardner. The Eagles created an issue where there wasn't one. Listen, Philly fans, your team stinks. They're not going to be good last year. You couldn't win the worst division in NFL history last year. You should use this year to find out if Jalen Hurts, who you drafted high in the 2nd round and traded Carson Wentz away so he could play, if he is going to be your guy. Creating more competition in that spot, Coach, I think is unreasonable. Given what they did with Wentz.
But if you feel that way, if you feel that you're that bad, why not get another young quarterback? And if Jalen doesn't work out, you've got another guy that you can experiment and see whether or not he's the answer. If you're going to use this year as a lab,
I just don't want a short leash.
Young guys.
That's fine, Jenna. I don't want a short leash on Jalen for a bad team. If I thought I was competing for a championship, it's different. All right, that means I got to shut up.
You know who has no leash? Josh Allen. Josh Allen made his preseason debut Saturday in the finale. Picked up right where he left off last season, 20 of 26, 2 touchdowns, a win over the Packers, and showers of MVP from Bills Mafia, even with the defending MVP in the building, and Aaron Rodgers. Broussard, you expect Josh Allen to be in the MVP conversation again this season?
Absolutely. And I'm going to go spoiler alert, because Nick's going to address this. He can defend his position. But earlier, he said Josh Allen would never win an MVP. Nick, we got to find a bet for that dinner, your Lego car, whatever it is. But we're going to put a bet. Josh Allen will win an MVP award. All right, believe you me. Now, you don't have to be an all-time great to be MVP. Steve McNair, Rich Gannon, Matt Ryan. We could go on and on. Pretty good quarterbacks that won MVP awards. So Cam, there you go. I do believe that Josh Allen will eventually win an MVP. It won't be this year, but he's in the discussion because the discussions are big. The discussions are long. There's several paragraphs to the discussion.
Like Broussard's NBA superstar list. 38 people long. It's like Broussard's list.
I didn't realize that Nick was putting his Lego car on the block. Whether we could bet for that.
I want that card, Nick.
I may start betting for that as well. Look, Josh Allen's improvement has been staggering from his rookie year in every single category. And that's the good news. The bad news is that the stats didn't start very good when he was a rookie. But where he is now, and I know Nick loves this about me, you need to see whether or not it's sustainable or whether this is a one-hit wonder type of situation. And the production he had in the 3rd preseason game, as exciting as it may have been for the fan base, it's not really the indicator of how it's going to go during the course of the season. I'd say the other thing that comes into play is Brian Daboll is eventually going to get a head coaching job. He's the offensive coordinator and is done amazing things with